crafters, Raquel here with Paints and Glitter. Today I'm coming along to introduce you to Marvellous Mosaic Hexagons. This is a newest die set for the Create and Make collection of dies from Tonic Studios. And this is just a little printout of what the cover will look like, but you will receive a sleeve that will have the little dies inside, and they fit on one of these magnets that you can also get from Tonic Studios with the sleeve to add to one of your binders, and that way you can keep them all nice and tidy and ready to craft. This is a 16-piece die set. You'll notice that I don't have all 16. It just got lost in transit, but that's okay. I'm going to share with you what I've made here on the side. And what I have to point out here is that, as you can see, there are several little hexagons in this set. One of them has a floral motif here in the center with a half piece that matches. The same goes for this little sunflower piece, has a half piece to match. And then this one here, which is a little bit more of a graphics look. It's very, very pretty. And then the leaf also has one to match in the half size. These don't cut out the edges, they just cut into your paper. And then there is one sentiment. This reads, "Let there be love," and it is in this shape here. And then there is a rose, which is super pretty, and you can see it kind of there in the corner. But on the other side of this, you're going to see the other pieces that came with this set. And as I said, I've got 15 here, but this larger one is actually an embossing die. So all of the lines here will press into your paper, and it'll deboss if you lay the paper underneath the die. But if you flip it upside down, then of course you're going to have those lines popping up from the background. So it's up to you how you use that. And then there's an added hexagon, a half hexagon, the little triangle here that you can use as you like for the edges, and then this piece as well. So what I've done is I've used most of them, not all, but I'm going to share with you the samples that I've made. This one here is just gold and pink. By the way, all of the papers and mediums that I use are from Tonic Studios, so you can take advantage of any Nuvo products you may have to supplement your cards, of course. But here I started off with a base of ballet pink card. I did use the die to deboss into that paper, and it's a little bit more noticeable at an angle. Maybe there you get to see a little bit of the shadow. But then I also use that die that cuts the rose into the background. So I started off with the actual solid hexagon, and then I cut into that solid hexagon that was in gold mirror card, and then inlaid the little pieces of gold card that I had also cut using that rose die. And I did avail myself of another hexagon from a different set that I happen to have. So if you happen to have other sizes, then of course you could supplement any cards that you make with these Create and Make dies. I really think that they play really well with other dies that you may have in your stash, of course. Speaking of which, that's how I was able to create this little golden frame here, and then this little pink satin card frame here. And using that same pink satin card, I created the piece that holds a sentiment that says Happy Mother's Day. And then I also created another little gold hexagon here. That's the inside of this little frame. But you can see how you can kind of mix and match the dies to play and have some fun. And then the glimmer that you see in the background is actual glimmer paste that you can get from Tonic Studios, and it adds that extra shine, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. So just a very simple but elegant finish, I believe. And then I did use a gold marker from the dual dot markers to just color around the perimeter of that hexagon there. Next, I also created a card here using this green card. I'll link below, of course, the Craft Perfect card from Tonic Studios. And what I did here, as you can tell, is that I used two of the different designs, and one of them is the leaf one. The other one is that more graphic one. And I had a lot of fun creating this card. All I did was use some oxide ink just for the perimeter, just to kind of give it a little bit more depth. And then I did use that debossing die, only I placed it underneath the card. So it is embossed, and again, it's a little difficult to see because of the lighting here. but you can feel the texture on the card, which I think is really neat. And the other thing that you see here is actual gold foil, and I had a tiny bit left in this little pot here, but you can get the larger ones, of course, which I have. And gold foiling, I think, is absolutely fun. It need not be complicated. So what I did actually is, to make it super easy, I just took one of the glue pens that you can get from Nuvo. And if you see, this has a nice wide nib there. And all I did was just color in the spaces that I wanted to add the foil onto. And then I just rubbed it on with a little brush, just one of these. I literally dipped it into the pot, and whatever foil got stuck on the brush, I just brushed onto the background of the card. And because I did it kind of randomly and more focusing on the center areas there, it was super easy. In less than a minute, I had all of that foil applied to that background. Now, to complement that, I did use a dual dot marker. Again, I love using these because they're so easy to use. They have two different size nibs, so I went with the wide nib for certain areas and then the thinner one for the perimeter. And in fact, I used the favorite one that I have here is the platinum gold. I love using that color, but it does come in 3 different colors, and it is in a pack of 3, so you don't have to choose. You get to try them all. But what I did is I colored around 2 of these pieces with that one marker. The other thing that I did is that I double layered these leaf die cuts. So on the top is the glitter card, but underneath is the same green that you see on the base of the card. Then I topped it off with a sentiment, Sent with Love, and that is the coffee brown or coffee cream card, and then also a piece of ivory card behind there. And the twine is also from Tonic Studios. Very, very simple in technique, I would say, but very effective. And I love that it's eye-catching because that metallic just draws your eye, of course. The next thing that I did was that I had some fun. I wanted to create a whimsical card with this set, and I started off by using that one die that you can use to emboss your paper. I ran it through twice. So I started off with a longer piece of card, and by the way, these are all 5 by 7. But what I did is that once I had the embossing where I wanted it, and you can kind of shift around the die to suit your needs, of course. You can place it in one direction and then flip it over in the other direction, however you want to do it. And that's exactly what I did in here, if you see. I used it once there, and then I used it once here, okay? And there's an opening here. So what I did is that I just cut around the edge of the paper, and then I decorated it with the little sunflowers in the little center pieces there, or, you know, different areas. I cut into the background of this card using that half piece of that sunflower die. And then I also added the sentiment here with 3 different layers. It says, "Let there be love." I used a white pen to kind of highlight the swirls. I did also use a black Nuvo marker to color in the sentiment portion. Behind that is some glitter card cut with the same die, and then a solid piece that I colored with an apricot color here. It was fruit punch, so that's what I used to color that paper. And that's what's so great about the Nuvo products, of course, is that you can use them to mix and match. And the other thing that I did was that I used 2 different sprays, sparkle sprays in the Wispy Willow and Frosted Lemon. Those I went ahead and just splattered on here, which you cannot really tell too much because I also used about 4 different types of ink to color that background, and those were also oxides mixed together with some Tonic Nuvo hybrid inks, and I just really love the results. Then lastly, what I did was that I took some honey gold Nuvo glitter drops, and I went ahead and colored the edges of these little hexagons that I did highlight by using a black micron pen and also a white Jelly Roll pen. And that was just to add a little bit of whimsy, as I said before, to the design by not drawing very straight lines, but just letting them be a little more loose. I also used another drop for the centers of the little sunflowers. And then lastly, the little bee is just my own little design. I love to draw. So I went ahead and drew that little bee flying around and leaving a little trail behind, and 2 little hearts, of course, because of the sentiment. And then lastly, what I did here is that I did back this up with the black card that you can get from Tonic Studios. And that then allows this card to have not only a sturdy front, but also covers up the background of this piece here, so that way you see the depth of what was cut out of that card. So I hope that makes sense. It's the best way that I can describe it, and I think that you can have a lot of fun. And I love the variety of different techniques and different uses that you can find within the same set of dies or same set of supplies. And I hope that you see that there is some versatility even in a die set that only has 16 pieces. So these are at a phenomenal price point. They're under $15, I believe, or something like that. So if I were you, I would take advantage of them. They will supplement your other sets very nicely, of course. And I hope that you like what you see, and let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. I look forward to reading them always. Don't forget also to subscribe, leave a thumbs up if you like, and as I always say, I hope that you can be inspired and be blessed. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.